Hello and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. We're so happy to have you with us today. My name is Anietie and Bature, and with me in the studio is my husband, Kingsley Bature.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm hoping I'm Kingsley Bature. I'm hoping you all can hear us. If you can hear us, please type 111 as our custom is. You're welcome to the show, and it's good to be back again.
Oh, yes, it is. Okay, so Debbie, I see you're with us already. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'm sure everybody in the world knows Debbie now. Because we always start by welcoming you. We're really grateful you're always here on time. And to everyone else who is on, everyone else who will be joining, you're welcome, including those who will watch the show after. We know not everyone gets to join us live, but whatever the case, we are happy that you're spending this time with us. So we're going to have a wonderful show today, and like we usually say, on this show we bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships in particular. And you may wonder why we're always talking about relationships. The fact is that if people get it right in relationships, if you do relationships right, then you are more likely to end up in a marriage that you will not be looking for how to run away from. So if you do your due diligence, if you take the time, if you are paying attention to the right things, then you are likely going to lay a beautiful foundation for a fulfilling marriage. And that's why we take the time to talk about all these things. So we talk about everything you need to know about before marriage, and we also look into some issues that concern married couples. What can we do better? How can we improve? How can we show more love to our spouses? How can we make sure that everybody is receiving value in the marriage? Yes. So today we're going to talk about something that affects a lot of people. I think that on the journey to finding the love of your life, more often than not, people experience what we are talking about today. Some people handle it very well, and some others really struggle. Some people come out rather unscathed, and then others will tell you how it affected their lives and how it impacted maybe their academics, maybe their performance at work, and so on. So how really should we handle this issue? And how can we do it in such a way that the impact, the consequence, what should I call it? The effect is not so terrible. Okay, so once again, welcome everyone. Welcome. I can see Kingsley has joined us. That's fantastic. And okay, Jake, it's interesting to have you on the other side. Thanks for joining the show. And yes, so before we talk any further, I'd like to say what the topic is for today. And this is quite interesting. The topic for today is Heartbreak Cafe. Yes, Heartbreak Cafe. So if you have ever experienced this thing called heartbreak, just go ahead and give us a thumbs up or your favorite emoji, or maybe you can even give us the heartbreak emoji. Just put it there on the chat. Let's see it. The broken heart, just type it in. Let's see. If you've ever experienced a heartbreak, go ahead and type it in. Let's see. Is anybody on who's had a heartbreak? And while waiting for you to give your feedback, let me find out from my darling husband. Please, before I came along, I made your life so beautiful. Did you ever experience a heartbreak?
Well, while we are on the matter of heartbreak, I'm really thinking of which of the breaks I should talk about.
So there were many.
Let's see which of the breaks I should talk about. Well, I wouldn't say there were many because I was the kind of guy. I was a good guy. I was a good guy. So I didn't really have, maybe the first heartbreak is the painful one, because that one I didn't even want to enter the relationship, but you know how you have friends and everybody seems to have a girlfriend, only you that doesn't have. So everybody, so the next girl that you have one small crush on, that becomes the person that you want to make your girlfriend. And in the process, of course, there were some things that were dashed to pieces. So but we survived.
Fantastic. I'm very happy for you. You pulled through. At least you survived. That's why you are here today.
Yes, now.
That's why we are here today.
Yes.
You didn't allow it damage you and then okay. No, let me see. You were not one of those who said, I will never let this happen to me again. For that reason, I will never fall in love again.
I didn't even know what I fell into in the first place. I just know that I came out, and I was still here. But you see, but when we begin to talk about this whole issue of heartbreaks, right? And at the Heartbreak Cafe, in fact, somebody responding to the topic says, what is the brand of coffee that they are serving in this breakfast? Do you understand? Yeah. So it's a breakfast cafe where you have been served. And but when we begin to talk about it, I begin to look at what are the reasons why people suffer heartbreaks in relationships, right? What are the things that happen that make you that break your heart? I could throw up a few, right? You could talk about things like, he cheated on me, she cheated on me. That could cause a heartbreak. Okay. You could talk about things like I could raise issues of boundaries, right? Do you understand? So there's cheating, there's issues of boundaries, right? To say how much did I invest in the relationship and for how long? Do you understand? Yeah. So that also talks about resources, investment. Do you understand? These are things that are coming into the play that begin to make us wonder. Because there was a question I posted. There was a poll I did, and I just before this show, and I was asking, is it possible for you to still be friends with someone who broke your heart? And now, broken heart there is that I wanted something, the person wanted something different. Or I have just mentioned another reason that could bring about differences. Difference of opinion. That's another reason. Difference of desire. And you know, desire is not always a bad thing. Desire is not a bad thing. Desire, if rightly propelled, can become a force that fires the relationship in the right direction. Yeah. So I know, right? So my point then is the fact that you begin to think about these things that people do in relationship. What are the things you're supposed to do in a relationship to get it right? To not, quote unquote, suffer a heartbreak? Is it possible even to be in a relationship and not have a heartbreak? Is it possible to have relationships without having heartbreaks? Meaning that it's possible to have, it's not every relationship that leads to a marriage, isn't it? Yeah. Right? So to have a relationship and not have a heartbreak is that you have a relationship, you guys are friends, maybe you dated even, but everybody walks away without blood on the floor. Is that possible? Is that still possible in today's? I would like to hear feedback from the people online and the people that are watching us live. And if you come in later, I'd like to, is it possible to walk away from relationship? Because when we did the poll, 50% said that they can still be friends with someone that broke their heart. Another 50% said, no way. We know if the person broke my heart, there's no way we can be friends. Meaning those 50% means that you cannot even go to the person's wedding if the person is eventually marrying somebody else. That's what it means.
Interesting. Okay, so I can see a few people have responded
so you know that this heartbreak is going round. Yes. It's going round. Yes. So yes. It's a general thing. People have experienced it. Yeah.
Okay, so that means we can have a very fruitful and productive discussion on the subject.
As they usually say, a robust
subject matter experts on the other side. So please, guys, everyone, feel free, just chime in. anything interesting from your own heartbreak experience that you feel other people need to know, maybe something that will help them, please go ahead and type it in the chat. So, there's something that I want to add to that list.
Okay.
List of things you mentioned. So you talked about the possibility of someone cheating on another person, you know, and then that bringing about a heartbreak. You talked about people who have invested so much in a relationship and then are not getting something back or commensurate
value.
Yes, and then people who have difference of desires. One person desires one thing, the other person desires something else, and because of that, they cannot go together, right? And now I want to add, not defining the relationship. It's closely linked to the difference of desire.
Yeah.
Because if you have defined the relationship, then to a great extent, each person will say what they desire. What do you really want in this relationship? What are you here for? Right? So sometimes two people meet and everything is going well. They kind of flow. You know, there's something about he gets me, she gets me. We can keep talking. We don't have to look for what to say to each other. We click like 5 and 6. You know, but people who have different ways of explaining how they feel when they have met someone that they feel free with, that they communicate well with, someone that gets them, someone that understands them. But the issue a number of times is that when you find that person, you feel, oh, this is the person. You feel this relationship has to become the relationship that will probably ultimately end in marriage. So for the lady, you may be thinking it's just a matter of time he will ask me out. Right? And then you now find out that the time is passing. And nobody is asking you out. And you're wondering, what's going on here? Then maybe you decide to, okay, let's take the bull by the horn. Let's prompt or let's trigger a response that will make me know what this person really feels. And then you now go ahead and ask something or say something, and then the person now makes you realize that, hey, I thought we're just friends. I like being friends with you. I don't want to spoil it. You know, they'll make it sound like, oh, what we have is so. Sometimes what we have is so good. Don't spoil it. You know, if we start bringing all these emotions in, will damage what we have. What we have is so good. It can be very annoying. Really. So that's part of, or that's one of the things that could lead to heartbreak when relationships are not defined. So up to the point where, or through the period where the relationship is not defined, please tread with caution. More like, mind how you are putting your whole self, your whole heart, your whole everything into that relationship, so that if it turns out that this person did not have any plans of taking that relationship any further or going the extra mile with you, you will not be too disappointed. So it's more like, yes, go ahead, engage, go ahead, love, go ahead, talk, go ahead, converse, but bear in mind, as long as, especially if you are a lady, or you're in a culture where it's the guy that has to take the first step to ask you out, as long as that question has not been asked, please don't assume that just because you have a good conversation or you guys flow well, that it means this is your guy and he's going to ask you out at some point. So tread with caution so you don't get disappointed. And if you are the guy, then I guess the ball is in your court. So I don't know if I should be advising guys to be careful how they leave ladies on, or how they create the impression that there's something when for them there's nothing. There's that too.
Yeah, but I believe that there is that, but you see, in this day and age, on the matters of relationship, there are no prisoners taken. Do you understand? Guys are doing their thing, girls are doing their thing, and it's no longer the case of where you say, oh, is that what's it called? That time when you say, oh, it's the guys that are leading the ladies on. In these days, you have ladies playing 2 or 3 guys and stringing everybody along. So it's there's just there's just a dearth or a lack of kindness in the relationship plane. Everybody is it's almost as if everybody is vicious. Do you understand? It's like everybody is in for what they can get from it. And I'm thinking to myself, why do we have to do this? There's no niceties anymore. As in, people are just not nice to themselves. So even when you're in a relationship, you begin to see, you begin to listen to when people talk, and you are wondering. I think some people should just not get into a relationship because they are too. I'm not even going to use the word selfish. They are too self-absorbed to want to share their life with someone else, because a relationship is like a partnership. It means you are sharing a part of you with someone else, and that's what goes into a relationship, right? So if we're talking about relationships that last or whatever, and we're talking about not getting your heart broken, some people's solution for not getting a heartbreak is to not commit to everything. Do you understand? Is to not commit. Is to not commit. Is to say, I will only give this far, and after that, no further.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Because so far we're talking about heartbreak in the context of what plays out when somebody says, I am moving on from this relationship, walking away. Now, is there a scenario where you still experience a heartbreak even though you're still in a relationship with somebody? Maybe the person does something that literally breaks your heart, but you guys have not broken up.
Well, that will now make the heartbreak a relative breaking. The breaking is relative to what occurred in the event. Now, what people call a heartbreak could just be a fragmentation of trust. Is that trust is fractured. You did something that I didn't expect that you would do. Trust is fractured. So that fractured trust is what someone will say, you broke my heart. There are other cases where what is actually broken is a person, because somehow the person has given themselves, quote unquote, to the relationship, but it's one-sided, and then you wake up and you probably you have overcommitted. Because I would say the only place where you get to give 100% is in the marital relationship.
Yeah.
Do you understand? In the marital relationship, that's the place where you can say, I want to give 100%. I want to give everything because we are in this for the long haul. But before you get to that position, we have to learn how to have a gradation of commitment. It's like
put it in grades.
Yes.
Level 1, level 2, level 3.
Yes.
Level 4.
You don't just go from 0 to 100 in 5 minutes.
But doesn't that spoil the whole concept of falling in love? Somebody says falling in love. If you're falling, there's no control. Like you're falling. So why do you not have to put grades to it?
Well, if you talk about it in the sense of falling, okay, you are the one that fell. Who sent you? No.
Anyway, if I want to wear my safety cap now, we say when you're walking at height, use your safety harness, please, so that if you fall, there's still some caution. Something will catch you before you hit the ground. So yes, really. There really is a need for just being careful, because the heart is fragile, isn't it? The heart is delicate, and it's this one heart that you have. Someone says, "It's this one heart you have." Don't just be throwing it about anyhow. Let there be some protection, some security that you have built in around your heart. And what does that mean, really? You're in a relationship, how are you judging the relationship at every point? Because it's this part where you're saying, okay, I've met this guy, he's interesting, he looks cool, he seems to check a number of boxes, okay, then you still tell yourself, but he has not asked me out. He has not said anything about wanting to do life with me. So far, we're having good conversations. Everything seems to be going well. Okay. So it's like taking stock and knowing, yes, this is what it is. It looks good, all right, but it does not mean okay, and so on. You know. So it's paying attention to those details, right? To say this is how this relationship is progressing. Fantastic. It's like celebrate the wins, celebrate the progress, but be aware that there's still a risk. There's still a likelihood that this person may really not be interested in you. And for that reason, decide where am I drawing the line on certain things so that you do not invest so much and then find out that the person doesn't feel the same way. That can actually be terrible when you have given so much and then someone turns around and says, oh, I didn't say anything to make you think that I am interested in you. Why did you think that? and the look of innocence, like, wow, I really didn't know. Sometimes it's difficult to believe that the person didn't really know, but well, sometimes they say they didn't really know. So really think about it. It's your heart. If you want to enjoy the free fall, it's also okay. But maybe in that case, you just make arrangements for how you recover after you hit the ground. If you want to do free falling, free falling in love. Well, there's the other part where you say, I grow in love, rather than I fall in love. I grow in love. So, how do you grow in love?
That's the gradation we're talking about, I want to kind of look at some comment that someone made, and he was saying, if we're talking about heartbreak, how do we manage expectations? And expectations is one of the things that also leads to heartbreaks, because people get into relationship with all kinds of ideas. They're in this relationship, they have all kinds of ideas of what it is that they want to achieve, or what it is that the relationship is supposed to be. However, like you rightly raised, the question I want to ask people: how many people go into a relationship and they're having a conversation about where this relationship is going? That's number one. And number two, how many people go into a relationship and then they are saying they are setting boundaries about this is our no-nos, this is our yeses, this is
what I can do,
this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do,
this is what I want to do,
this is what I won't do. Right?
Yeah.
All of that is part of the design. How many people go into relationship, talking about those things, but because those things are not spoken about, people go in and then they have expectations. And I say, if somebody loves me, this is what he's supposed to do. Hollywood, Nollywood, Bollywood, all the woods probably have not helped all of us very much, because all they have done is just put ideas in people's head that sometimes alienates them from real life, because you have a storyline that you have captured, that is, this is how love is supposed to go, and then when you come to real life, you are expecting all of those things, instead of charting the course on how your relationship will go. So how many people actually watch their relationship and say, this is where it's going, and I am glad it is going this way? Okay, so today it feels like I'm sounding too hard, but it's because there are a lot of broken hearts out there. My problem with heartbreaks is that when a heart breaks, very, very few times do you find that when it eventually mends, it mends the same way. Because what happens is that people make decisions, people make decisions that will affect the next relationship that had nothing to do with the first person that broke your heart. But then you use that experience and you are using it to to weigh or to judge some other experience or some other person. And before you know it, somebody that actually could be right for you, you have used a past experience to make him wrong. That's my problem with heartbreaks.
That's not what you're saying. So more like you leave that experience, right, with certain decisions. Probably decisions that will now protect you because you did not initially build in enough security around your heart, right? So you get in, you fall in love, you experience a heartbreak, and then you're like, I will never do this again. I will never allow so. I will never do it in a relationship. I will never. And then these nevers that you decide on now affects the quality of the next relationship, because that person is coming along and wants to love you freely, fully, and then finds out that what's going on here. This lady is not saying this. She is not even open to the idea of this. She's not even considering that. She says she wants this, she wants that. She's too uptight, or she's too, So this current relationship is now suffering to some extent because of the heartbreak experience. So I completely understand that. And that's why it would be great for people to start from the beginning. Start from the first one to secure your heart. So that it is not broken so badly that you wake up and say, I will never. Do you understand? Instead, you walk away rich and full. It's beautiful. And part of how you can achieve that is just by being more informed. So for instance, some people feel if I have a heartbreak, that's the end of it. But something that you need to be able to tell yourself is that I will heal. I can heal from this. I can recover from this. If it ever happens to me, this is what I'll do. In fact, sometimes you need to think of the worst case, because there's the way, and you need to think of it early, not when the heartbreak happens. Because sometimes people, when they face a heartbreak, think stuff like, how will I ever love again? Well, especially if it ended in a way that this person badmouthed you, said some things that make you feel terrible, that affected your self-esteem and so on. And you start to think, will anybody love me again? Will I find somebody to love me? I'm not lovable. All those kinds of things. So think about it. But if upfront you tell yourself, hey, if I ever suffer a heartbreak, what will happen? You tell yourself, I will move on to the next relationship, or I will heal and I will move on to the next relationship. Where you tell yourself, I am a person of value, take stock. This is part of why you need to know who you are. Who are you? I am a person of value. I have value to bring into any relationship that I get into any friendship that I get into. What are those values? You know those values. You are aware of them and you keep them in mind. So even if someone comes and starts telling you that the worst person I ever met was a mistake meeting you, caused to be the day I met you. So you know how some people have just nonsense things they've heard from somewhere and they're keeping it for the day they want to break up with someone, and then they will now reel it out and the person walks away feeling terrible. No. You know who you are, you know the value, and you know that, hey, this is not the end of the world. The guy moved on, he's moved on. So, alright, so let me get some time to myself, get over this, and then go out and face the world again. So it's good to have those discussions with yourself up front before you even get into a relationship. And if you have gotten into a relationship already, right now, have that discussion with yourself. Do a self-assessment. Who am I? Am I a person of what? What is it that I have to bring? What value do I add to the people around me? You can even start to sample from your friends, your siblings. Hey, what is it about me that is interesting? Know those things. So that if somebody says, I'm walking away, you're not fantastic, you're not whatever, you can go back and read what it is that you are. And you're good, you're happy with yourself. Someone comes along and says, oh, the way you are, and someone, especially people who judge what is a core about you, something that is you, like somebody coming to tell you your face is not good. It's your face, what are you going to do? Should I go and do a surgery and change my face or something?
You can't change it now.
Somebody judging something so fundamental about you. But you should be able to look at your face and say, okay, this is my face, my eyes are like this, my lips are like that, my nose is this way, and so on, and be happy with it and know that there's somebody somewhere who is going to love these features about you. So it's really important to do that upfront, so that by the time you get into a relationship, no matter how it plays out, you won't get to that rock bottom, hopeless, helpless, busted. No, I can't. I can't even see the light at the end of it. In fact, from where you are, there's no end to this story. Talk less of seeing the light at the end of it. You know. So yes. So please do that. If you haven't done it yet, take some time and just take stock. Who are you? What is about you? What's beautiful about you? What's the value you bring? You know, do something like that so that you, and then decide, if I ever get into a relationship and the person walks away or is not interested in me, or I suffer a heartbreak, how will I recover? What will I do next? You know, and then go from there. Okay, so let's see some of the comments that have come in. I see there's one from, okay, Omoranze, I think, says hello everyone. Everybody says hello everyone. And then Omoranze says something. I've never had my heart broken before. It's not an experience I want to. My dear, you don't need it to. It's not a pleasant experience. And you know, sometimes we'll say, some people are in denial when they experience a heartbreak. You know, like, okay, my heart has been broken, I'm moving on. They just get up and go. Even if it didn't hurt so bad, I think you still need to take stock. Just really find out, what was it about this relationship? Why did it end? What can I learn from this so that it doesn't happen again? If you need to cry, cry. If you need to cry, really cry, right? Because it helps. Just get it out rather than keep all that emotion bottled in, right? Suppressed, and then it just starts to eat you up inside. No, if you need to cry, cry. If you can do the crying all by yourself and you're fine, cool. If you feel I need a shoulder to cry on, find a good friend. Preferably not somebody of the opposite sex before you will now build some connections, and then you'll be thinking, I love this person. Meanwhile, it's just that they were there for you in your time of intense need. So find your safe friend and let them know, oh, this is what I'm going through. Someone you can trust to, not the person that will yab you and tell you, I said, you know, or someone that can help you very nicely through that situation. At least be there for you and comfort and encourage you. Yes. So take time to more like deal with the hurt, with the pain, and then come to the place where if you need to listen to something that will encourage you, do it. If you need to listen to motivational speakers at that time, do it. If you need to read something from the Psalms, especially from someone like, you know, David had a lot of those moments where he went through terrible situations. Find something that will lift your spirit again. If it's songs you need to listen to the songs. You know, my husband has all those really melancholic and sometimes you enter a zone, complete zone like this. Quite interesting. So you have to find your way. Just you should, at least I believe everyone should know what it is that lifts their spirits at different times and be able to leverage those things when they're in desperate situations. KJ said I went into compulsory fasting. Say heartbreak is not for the weak though. I went into compulsory fasting for 7 days. Yeah, and you could not eat. Days.
Yeah, see, matters of the heart they are very sensitive matters. They are very sensitive matters, really. They are very sensitive matters. Then they touch it. In fact, I used to say that the matters of the heart is the heart of the matter. Do you understand? So everything revolves around what's happening in the heart. But if you, and that's why we speak on this show, if you use sense to do the relationship, it will save you from the stress that comes with heartbreak. Because
or it will help you at least to deal with it in a way that Yeah, it doesn't tear you apart.
Yeah, that's part of the stress, because the breaking is what in science we call tensile stress. The amount of stress that has been put on your heart is not equal to what the heart has the capacity to endure, and so it's stress. Now, when we talk about these matters of the heart, and we talk about expectations and unfulfilled expectations, the question comes up again to say, what are we carrying into relationships? What is it possible to have a relationship and then from the get-go we can define it, hey, we're just friends, right? I'm just asking.
Well,
can that happen? We're just friends.
I think that at the point where it's the friendship part is very easy. You don't need to come and say, I met you yesterday, we said hello, we said hi. It seems we had a good conversation. Okay, we're now friends.
Children do that fast.
At friendship, it's not really a problem. When somebody is becoming your friend, you can tell by how you guys are doing, how you guys are relating, right? Where you start to have issues is when you're getting into this zone of emotional connections, where you're getting into the part where somebody wants to introduce you as boyfriend or girlfriend and stuff like that, where you go somewhere with a colleague, and then the colleague is expecting you to say, hey, this is my girlfriend, or this is my, and then you say, oh, this is just my colleague from the office, and then the person is like, oh, really?
That's those expectations
exactly.
that I'm talking about, expectations and unfulfilled expectations.
Exactly. So when this is part of watching your relationship. So when you see that, hey, we're beginning to do things that is beyond what colleagues do, then
why are you changing the voice to funny?
Because it's kind of problematic at that point. Because you don't typically, cultures are different. So check now. There are certain things that you don't do with a colleague. When you're now doing it frequently with this colleague, has it not changed? So what is it now? Have you guys moved from being colleagues to, okay, this is more like a friend,
a special friend?
And then when you now start doing certain other things that just friends don't do, then you will now ask yourselves, okay, it seems like we're becoming, somebody needs to bring it up. Something is happening.
Yes.
Friends should be able to say, buddy, see you tomorrow, and just walk away. You understand? But when it's like, I don't want to leave you, like, I wish I could stay the whole night. Do you understand? I wish I didn't have to say goodbye. Some of those other feelings start coming in. And then you see friends and you have butterflies. You don't have butterflies for friends. When this person is coming your way and then your heart starts to it's coming. Then you now start checking your parents, you this, you that. Okay, oh my goodness, I didn't use my deodorant today. You're so...
It means something else has entered the relationship that was not there before.
Yes.
So what is the thing that these are some of the things these are some of the things that we need to do. So if something else has entered the relationship, let's define it. What is it? If both of you don't understand it, let's sit down and talk about it. Like, bro, see, we started out as friends, but it seems like beginning to like you in a different way, right? So remember that happened to us now. That happened to us when we remember that part now. When we went there, and now I'm saying we have been friends, but it's as if there's something else that is entering this relationship, and I really don't know what's happening. It's not as if I don't know what's happening.
This guy is a very funny guy. Yes. So I need to tell me, look, I love you. I found out. I have feelings for you.
You can't put that on me. I was figuring these things out.
I'm beginning to feel a certain way.
Yes.
Then he now said, what do I think?
Exactly. That's conversation happening right there.
What question is that?
What do you think? Because something is happening here, and I don't have the vocabulary for it. So what do you think? So that's part of having the conversation. But another problem is that some people's some people's relationship goes from 0 to 100 very quickly. They go from talking stage to having a date to cruise to as in all of that can happen in one day or 2 days. As in this generation is a marvel. Do you understand?
Which makes it very confusing.
Exactly.
Because some people will feel it's only somebody that I have a strong emotional connection with, somebody that I love deeply, that I will, for instance, sleep with, right? That kind of stuff, right? Then you will now meet another person who feels like, hey, once I bought her a drink and I've spent money on her in a restaurant or something, or bought her a few clothes or a bag or 2 shoes,
I'm entitled to
sleep with her. Then you will now go, and then one thing leads to another, people sleep with each other. Then you are thinking, oh, I have a strong emotional connection, it's deep, I love him, we slept together. And then
he's thinking, I bought her 2 shoes,
I bought her a bag. She's just one of the ladies on my list, or what they call it, body count.
Body count.
You write your name on the list, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, when he's trying to walk away to find the next girl that you buy 2 shoes, a bag, dinner for, you are like, but I thought, and I thought, and the guy's looking at you like, hello. What, like, where are you coming from? Do you understand? So these are some of the challenges. And that is why, honestly, when you see some of the things that the Bible says, that God recommends for relationships, for 2 people that are in love, how to conduct yourselves and stuff, you see that it actually saves you a lot of trouble to follow those recommendations. In fact, I am calling them recommendations because I'm trying to be nice, but they are not recommendations. They are instructions. When the Bible tells you to treat the younger lady or the young ladies like sisters, right? Young men like brothers. Do you understand? And stuff like that. And then, of course, other things, telling you stuff about flee fornication and stuff like that. All of those things actually make your life very easy, because if you stay away from, it's like there's this straight road. This road is easy. You can go on this road. If anything happens, if while you're on this straight road, somebody says, you know what, you're not the person. I wasn't planning to do life with you. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Or you know what, we've come this far in this relationship. I feel like I need to get out. It's not working. If you're on that straight road, it's kind of easy. But if you have started entering, what they call it, coral, if you start entering by roads and you've gone down some lanes,
some highways,
some avenues and stuff like that, then you've gone to get entangled in ways that are really difficult. And by the time somebody comes and says the same thing to you, you feel like your whole world is falling apart. Yeah. So.
It's really very touching for me, especially because I get to maybe by virtue of who I am, I'm a very good shoulder to lean on. So you get to hear some sub stories, that's what they call it, and I really feel that on this heartbreak avenue, right, we need to help people recover. And for me, the best way to help people recover is to help them not get sick. Prevention is better than cure. Do you understand? That's my belief. It's better we help you not get sick than, because we can talk about a few cures for heartbreak, right? But before we talk about that, there's something I have a problem with, which is the fact that some other people, the moment they have a heartbreak, they jump to the next comforting shoulder, as though that's a solution to the heartbreak. And that tells you that a lot of people also are struggling with personal identity. Do you understand? As per an awareness of self. Do you understand? So there's a difference between selfishness, self-awareness, self-centeredness. Those are all different things. Do you understand? But most people jump into relationship for self-centered reasons. So they're going in with self at the center. But they are not so aware of who they are. So sometimes someone said something. He said, if you came into a relationship with I'm trying to find, there's a way he said, he says, if things come easy for you in the relationship and you get comfortable, you are getting into dependency. So if you are in a relationship with someone and it's because of all that he can do for you, you are getting into dependency. How about everybody in the relationship is independent, and then we are doing what? We are complementing, we are building something to someone. Even when you are friends, friendship, so I'm not even talking about married, going to marriage. Even when you are friends with people that complement you, either your skill sets or your wants and needs and means, and do you understand? You are friends with, so the reason you are friends with someone is maybe the person always makes you laugh. It means that you ordinarily cannot make yourself laugh, and the person makes you laugh. It means that the person is doing what? Is complimenting you. The person is friends with you because,
or you can do the very common friendship type that you find in uni, which is one person is very intelligent.
Yes.
The other person
is more social.
Exactly. So together we are okay. We will laugh, we will learn, and we will be okay together. So I think we should take a couple of comments.
Okay.
We have a few, starting from Darabeni. Okay, we can take this first. Victor says, if I may ask, is it really love that makes one ignore or unable to decipher red flags?
Oh, that's Victoria Adegoke. She Victoria. Said, yeah. Is it? Hey, Victor Silva. Glad to have you back. It's been a while.
Yes.
Victor, how now?
Victor, the new hairstyle, his hairstyle is now compliant with the area where he's existing.
As he has no. You saw it. Victor, how now? Victor says it's more of lust than love that make a lot of people ignore red flags. You can also say selfishness too. If I can say that, I agree with you, Victor. Victor, I agree with you completely, because lust is there, right? Selfishness is there, and both lust and selfishness, all of them are all about the self. Do you understand? Is driven by your innate self-preservation instinct, right? What I can get, you know. And I'm not saying that just to go with the flow of relationship, that relationships are about giving, not getting. No, it has to be mutual. It has to be balanced. It has to be I give and I get. Yeah. But if I'm always giving and I'm not getting, the equation is not balanced. Do you understand? And whether we like to admit it or not, that's how life is. I know some people will say, oh, you need to give 100% and not expect anything, but that's rubbish. I'm sorry. Do you understand? If we're in a relationship, it means that I'm giving something and I'm getting something. Do you understand? There was a series we did called Transactional Love, right? And we talked about some of these things in there. You can check it on this video, on this channel, and watch it. Do you understand? We went into details on how the fact that whether, except you are lying to yourself, if you find yourself in a relationship where you are the only one giving and giving and giving, something is not right.
And one day you will get tired.
You will get tired. Yeah. So if you ignore red flags, it may be that you because
there's the euphoria in the early stage.
Yes, because I don't want to discountenance love, because if I want to talk about love, I need a whole episode to talk about it, because there are so many things that we have defined as love that is not love, right? But if we're going to talk about it, the euphoria, the emotions, the feeling, all of those,
meeting someone,
all of those can,
fantastic, it's exciting.
all of those can cover you.
Interestingly, right? Some of these feelings you also have them with inanimate objects. So
like credit alert.
like when you buy a new device. Like okay, imagine you have never owned a PS5 in your life, and you are a young guy, and then all of a sudden you have one. Of course, at first you're going to be absolutely excited about it. That's going to be like the best thing. Like you don't want to depart from it. then later on you may start paying attention to other things. So at that initial stage, you're just focusing on all the goodness and all the wonderful things about this. Later on, you may now find out, oh, but it doesn't have this and it doesn't have that. Or it doesn't have this other feature that this other thing has. My friend said, you know, but at first you were just focused on the good, the wonderful things about this new device that you got. At that point, you can't really say anything wrong about it because you just got it. It's new, it's fresh. And it's the same mistake that some people make when they say, oh, I am leaving this person that they have known, or maybe I'm married to somebody, I'm working with, I'm getting a divorce, and there's this new lady I found. She's this, she's that, she's that. And then they get so excited about the lady, and then eventually they now find out that that lady too has her own bag of drama, her own bag of rubbish that you now be like, oh. Then you start wondering, why did I leave my wife? I thought this one was perfect, you know? So that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, so we'll take more of the comments.
Victoria Degoki said, Victor, do you mean those who have claimed to be in love before certain unpleasant occurrences were actually in lust? You see, Victoria, I hear you, and that's why I said that I don't just want to use love so casually, because we have defined it as different things. So when you use love, some people are hearing very different things, and I don't want to go into those definitions now because we don't have the time. But I can break it down this way, really. If you can claim to be in love, you may even have been in love, because love can a friend of mine used to say that when a man is in love, another mumu is born. Do you understand? So it's possible for you to be in love, and because you are in love, the person has your mumu button. But what covers your eyes is that euphoria, is those heightened emotions, is those expectations, because you are thinking, because I love this person so much. Part of what you are thinking is, because I love him so much, I need to give up so much for him. Yeah. Now I'm talking, this is not a marital relationship. So you are feeling, okay, because I love him so much, there's an expectation that I need to give up so much for him. And that expectation in itself is what will make you not see those red flags. Because in fact, the expectation that because I love him, I need to make allowances for him, those will also make you not see the red flags. Do you understand? Yeah. So what you feel might be genuine, but that's why I say that love itself also has a sensible part about it. So love is not only in the heart, love also exists with the head, because love is complete. Seriously, love is not stupid, it's complete.
Oh my goodness.
Do you understand?
Speaking of this subject, I'm just thinking of, that part, a statement that I think most people know about, love is blind, by a social studies teacher. I said, but marriage opens the eye. And I wrote about this in my book, Husband Material. So if you want to know more, you can get the book and read that version. So if you know that love is blind, if you have heard that love is blind, then you will start saying, okay, like I said, my own love is going to wear glasses. My own love is going to find some visual aids to help me
see properly.
And there are different ways that you help yourself. If you are in that state where, oh, I'm so in love, I can't see anything wrong with this person, then maybe you can start to allow this person to interface with some of the other people in your life that care a lot about you. And this is why
exactly that's the sense part of it.
Follow me and
expose yes, exactly.
Let's go together for this event with some other people around you, and then those people can come after and tell you, that your guy, I don't like that guy. The way he's doing this, the way he did that, the way he said this, they start to tell you, so that if you were too blinded by the experience of being with this person or meeting this person, you can start hearing from other places that, hey, I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
So when people are telling you, be careful, watch out, Don't say, you are jealous. It's because
Exactly, I was going to go
because
there.
you have not found
You
somebody
say you are not happy for me. You are not happy for me.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
please get your love glasses. It's
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Information from different sources, from mentors, from counselors, from people who have gone ahead of you, like senior friends. Information from books, materials about relationships.
And really, even the Bible says it this way. It says, guard your heart with all diligence. There's a reason why. As in, guard your heart with all diligence. There's a reason why. It means that, and when they say with all diligence, it means get business-like about the protection of your heart.
Yeah.
So that your emotions are not running your life. Somebody said the heart wants what the heart wants, and I add, but the head should have sense. So the heart can want what it wants, but the head needs to be the one to decide what it gets.
Yes, bring your head.
Yes. So the heart may want what it wants, but let the head be the one that decide what it gets.
Don't throw your brain away in a relationship. You just say, what are you doing? Can't you see? I'm just following my heart.
Oh, why?
Please be in touch with what your heart is feeling, but engage your brain in that decision.
Fred said something. Said, so are we saying sometimes our expectations makes us to misinterpret certain actions which lead to heartbreak? Yes. In capital letters.
Yeah.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence to bro, come back. Those of us that went to night school need to understand this. Help, sir. Say the absence of evidence is not the evidence to absence. I don't get it. He will explain. The first part, the answer is a big yes. Victor says, according to Dr. Masmuro, true love is not an emotion. It is the decision to commit to and meet the needs of a person and expect nothing. True love has no reasons, expectations, or conditions. Now, in explaining that, because I've read that, Victor, he has the second part. It is a choice to remain committed to someone regardless of what they do or don't do. So yes, and for me, I need to put in perspective that particular statement when he was talking about true love, right? That true love must exist within a context. What is the context? Do you understand? What is the context under which you commit without expecting anything back? I assure you, it's not in boyfriend-girlfriend relationship.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because in boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, the level of commitment is in a certain grade. It hasn't reached the place where.
And actually, if you bring that kind of true love, like if you say, I am going to practice this type of true love in a
boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, yes,
then you will never leave. Because no matter what the person is doing, no matter how terrible the person is, no matter what red flags you find, you will say, I love you unconditionally. It's not about what you do or don't do. It's that I have true love for you.
It will shock you. My brother, my sister,
please.
It will shock you.
Apply the true love. True love now. I like what Jesus said. Love your neighbor as yourself. So it tells me that at least it is okay for me to love my neighbor as much as I love myself. It means that I should love myself
first.
So part of loving myself is that I am not going to allow somebody into my life that will come and scatter it, that will come and destroy it, that will come and make a mess of everything that you have built, or everything that you have become, or everything that you are, or your hopes and dreams self, assuming you say I have not become anything.
Yeah, no. Part of myself, part of loving myself, is being confident in who I am part time. As in, I have an awareness, a sense of self, and I've shared this somewhere where I said an understanding of who you are must mean that you have been able to confront three things: your sense of sin, your sense of style, your sense of shame, your sense of style, and your sense of your sense of self. your sense of sin. Now, what I'm talking about is the fact that you must be able to confront your weaknesses, right? You must be able to confront your weaknesses and say, this is what I have a weakness for. I know. You must be able to confront your sense of style and say, this is my packaging. This is how I like to be in this season of my life. Yes. You must be able to confront your sense of sin, which is the shortcomings that you have had, that you are dealing with. You know, do you understand? So you must be able to look yourself in the mirror for someone to come and tell you, oh, so you are for example, you are a smoker. If you have not confronted it, you will be trying to overcompensate in order to prove the person otherwise. But if you have confronted those shortcomings, you can admit, yes, I used to be, but I'm no longer, and I don't have to overcompensate or do anything to prove it to you. So it's like I am me, and I don't have to prove otherwise. But the thing is, in a lot of relationship today, you find people are always testing you out, always trying to push you or force you to take a position that you are as if you are proving something. Why do we always have to try to prove something? Just be you. And anybody that is not comfortable with you being you can take a walk.
And Victor says, if you bring that kind true love to boyfriend girlfriend relationship, you can enter one chance, so
and you end up in Shiloh. And you end up in Shiloh. You know. So it's really important. Fred is completing. I'm sure he's completing that thought for us. He said, in context, most people force themselves to make sense out of nonsense. Exactly my point. Things that don't seem to be in every situation because their expectations have created a conviction which they most times want everyone around to see things in the perspective in which they are seeing it. This is part of what I'm trying to package when I say we're always trying to prove something to somebody, as if there's somebody out there that we are trying to impress, or we are trying to see us in a certain light, and that heavily affects relationship. For example, this happens a lot. And I'm not stereotyping anyone, but a lot of girls, right? A lot of girls get into pressure in their relationship simply because of what their friends will say about their relationship. So they either hide the relationship because they don't want their friends to spoil it. Meanwhile, hiding the relationship does what? It's injurious to them. Puts them, do you understand? So, but the reason they are hiding it is they don't want their friends to know that this is the person they are going with, or this is, do you understand?
Or they avoid getting into relationships because they don't want
exactly.
Or
so
they enter relationships with a certain kind of person because they feel this is the kind of person
that their friends will approve. Do you understand? Yeah, it means that this is and all of that is unnecessary. So those are external pressures that also break the heart. And for guys, what breaks guys a lot of time is in the place where a lot of guys like to feel like the player, but then when they get played, they pain. They pain.
Yeah. So
they pain.
I think it's been quite an interesting discussion today on heartbreaks. So one thing that is clear is that there are certain things that you can do before you get into a relationship or in the early stages of the relationship to guard your heart, to protect your heart. So please take time to do those things so that you are not so vulnerable. And in the event that you experience a heartbreak, remember that's not the end of life. So please don't go and do something terrible to harm yourself in the name of it's over. It's not over. Take some time to heal. Take stock. What happened here? Get up and move on with your life, because really there's still a whole life ahead of you.
And my closing thoughts will be to pay attention to what you invest in a relationship. And that's why at the beginning of the show we talked about the gradations of your investment. Don't make a marital investment into a one-night stand. if a relationship is a one night stand, don't give it the investment of a marital relationship. If the relationship is just an acquaintance, don't invest a full friendship on an acquaintance. It has to come both ways. So you have to watch what you are investing in the relationships that you have. In fact, you sometimes you need to do what we call a relationship audit and find out, these people that I have called my friends, what is my investment to them?
And
what is their investment to me? Am I overcompensating, or am I even overdrawing without giving back? Because you have to look at the full picture, and these are the things that lead to heartbreak. So people need to look, we need to pay attention. And the reason why, like we said from the beginning of the show, the reason why we do these things is because prevention is better than cure. Because we have said some things that you can use to cure the heartbreaks, music, or talk to someone, or seek advice, seek information. Do you understand? Belong to a community and set and all of that. Do you understand? Yeah. So you have to, people have to begin to look at relationship with the same sense of seriousness that they look at businesses and career.
Yes, thank you very much. And on a last note, I'll read Victor's comment and we wrap this up. Victor says, you said something that is key, for which I fell victim. Don't let your heartbreak control your next relationship, or rush into a new relationship just to spite
or show this one, Victor, this one really happened.
Yes.
By the time they see the new guy I'm going with, in fact, you even try to organize a hangout at the place you know that the guy is going to be badbelle.com.
Thank you so much for being with us on the show today, and thanks for the feedback. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks to every single person who contributed, who left a comment. Barbara, we saw yours as well.
Yeah, Omoronze. Thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everyone. And for everyone who's going to watch
Fred, we see you. Thank you, Fred.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, for everyone who's going to watch this show after the live, please go ahead and leave a like for us, leave a comment. If you have questions, feel free to leave a question for us, and if you would like us to address something in the future, feel free to say, hey,
say it in the comment section. Yes. Say it in the comment section. It's we read all your comments and we would respond accordingly. Just tell us what you would like us to talk about. But next week I think we're having 21 and counting.
Yes,
or is it the upper week?
Next week is 21.
Okay, so please watch out. Watch out.
All right, everybody, thank you. And like we always say, remember,
common sense is not so common. See you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you once again for joining us. We hope you got great value today. Our goal is to bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your life and relationships. Please do not forget to subscribe, share, and like.